ex-boyfriend hung out with my bully and kept it from me. I'm a 21-year-old woman, and I'm currently in a long-distance relationship with my boyfriend who's also 21. The reason we're apart is that we attend different colleges. This morning I wanted to plan a time to call him in the evening. When I asked him what time would be good, he mentioned he had plans to meet up with someone. Curious, I asked him who he was meeting, and he said it was an old friend. I followed up with, "Oh, from school?" To which he replied, "No, she's actually a family friend." I took his word for it, said okay, and didn't think much more about it. My boyfriend has a habit of going on solo outings with his female friends, spending one-on-one time with them on a regular basis. This has been a consistent part of our relationship, and I've always been okay with it. Because of this, when he mentioned he had plans to meet an old friend who is also a family friend, I didn't think much about it at first. I've never felt jealous or suspicious about his friendships with other women because I trust him wholeheartedly. We've always had open communication, and I've never had a reason to doubt him. However, given the recent conversation and the distance between us, I find myself starting to reevaluate my feelings and trust. It's making me wonder if I should be more cautious or if there's something I might be overlooking. A few hours ago, I was casually scrolling through Instagram when I switched over to my photography account and noticed that my boyfriend had posted a story. Curious, I tapped on it to see what he had shared. To my surprise, it was a repost of a photo showing him sitting in a restaurant, sipping on a milkshake. The caption read, "Milkshake Stealer." What caught my attention even more was the account that had posted it. It belonged to the same girl who had bullied me relentlessly throughout both middle and high school. Just seeing her name and face brought back a flood of memories and emotions. I was so shocked and overwhelmed that I ended up having a panic attack right after seeing it. I'm still trying to process everything and come to terms with what I saw. It's left me feeling shaken and unsure about how to handle the situation. For some context, my boyfriend and I have been dating since our senior year of high school. When we first started dating, the bullying I experienced actually stopped. This was mainly because he was seen as one of the popular guys, and since I was dating him, people backed off, including the girl who bullied me. While he knew of her existence, they weren't friends or anything like that. I've opened up to him about the bullying and how much it affected me. There was even a time when he jokingly said he felt like he saved me from her by being with me. He knows the extent of what she did to me and how it impacted my mental health to the point where I was on the brink of being admitted to a psych ward because of her actions. Given all this, it's really hurtful and confusing to find out that he lied to me about meeting up with her, especially after everything I've shared with him about my past experiences with her. It's making me question his honesty and our relationship in a way I never expected. When I switched back to my main Instagram account, I realized that he had blocked me from seeing his story. However, it seems like he might have overlooked blocking my photography account, which is why I saw the post. It's as if he didn't want me to know about his plans or who he was with. I haven't had the chance to confront him about it yet because he's asleep, but the emotions I'm feeling are intense. I feel so betrayed and hurt right now that I'm struggling to even type this without shaking. The sense of betrayal is overwhelming. I'm torn about what upsets me more, the fact that he's hanging out with the girl who bullied me or that he kept it a secret from me. It's like a double blow, and I'm not sure which hurts more. I've always considered myself to be a laid-back and understanding girlfriend, despite my own insecurities. But right now, I'm genuinely upset and questioning so many things. It's a lot to process, and I'm not sure how to handle it or what to think moving forward. Update 1, 8 hours later. I'm writing this while still feeling pretty emotional after crying for a solid hour, but I've made the tough decision to break up with him. First off, a huge thank you to everyone who took the time to leave supportive and kind messages for me. Your words mean more to me than you'll ever know. Having so many people backing me up gave me the strength I needed to take this step, so thank you for having my back and being there for me. I ended up pulling an all-nighter due to my anxiety about the situation. As soon as he woke up, I felt like I needed to call him and address everything. Here's how our conversation went. I started the conversation by asking him if he had blocked me from seeing his story. At first, he denied it, but when I mentioned that I had seen it from my second account, he went completely silent. It was as if he didn't know how to respond or what to say next. He then asked me if I was mad at him, probably sensing the tension in my voice. In the past, I might have downplayed my feelings to avoid conflict, but thanks to the feedback and support I received here, I felt empowered to be more direct with him. I told him firmly that yes, I was mad. How could I not be? He's hanging out with someone who made my life miserable for years. His response was, "You're twisting it way out of proportion. This is why I didn't want to tell you." Confused and hurt, I asked him to explain how I was twisting things. He then said that he was just meeting up with her because she happened to be in the area and asked to catch up. According to him, he couldn't say no to her request. Edit. Oh my goodness, there's a really important detail I forgot to mention earlier. When he was trying to justify meeting up with her, he said that he befriends everyone, so it's not exclusive to her. Additionally, he told me, she seems like she's a changed person, as if that should make it okay. I can't believe I forgot to include that crucial part when I first wrote this. My mind has been so overwhelmed with everything that's been going on, and it's easy to overlook details when you're feeling this way. I only remembered to mention it because of a comment someone else made, so thank you for pointing it out. We continued to argue back and forth, and looking back, I noticed he was trying to gaslight me, making me question my own feelings and perceptions. As the conversation escalated, I finally mustered the courage to tell him that he had broken my trust and betrayed me, and I wanted to break up. I had braced myself for a strong reaction from him, maybe anger or frustration, but instead he responded with, "If that's what you want." His indifference hurt even more, and I couldn't hold back my tears. Feeling desperate for some sign of care or concern from him, I asked, "Do you not care about me at all?" His reply was, "I do, but not when you're disrespecting me like this." He also seemed upset that I had confronted him so soon after he woke up. He complained that I should have waited to talk until he was more awake and alert. But waiting wasn't an option for me. The anxiety and stress of the situation were eating me up inside, and I needed to address it as soon as possible. The comment that really hurt me the most was when he said, "Don't dump your insecurities onto me, I'm not your therapist." This wasn't the first time he'd said something like this. In the past, whenever I tried to bring up issues or concerns about our relationship, he would tell me not to bring my problems to him. I found myself asking, who else am I supposed to talk to about my relationship issues if not the person I'm dating? His response was, "I don't know, but not me. Go to a therapist." I've always struggled to understand why he feels this way. In the beginning of our relationship, he used to be there for me when I was feeling anxious or depressed. He was supportive and comforting. But over the past year and a half, whenever I've been feeling down or struggling, he's consistently told me not to come to him with my problems. Is that normal? I understand that he's not my therapist, and I never intended to dump all my problems on him. I just wanted some support and understanding from the person I'm supposed to be able to rely on. It's been confusing and hurtful to feel like I can't turn to him when I need him the most. The way he treated me during our conversation was really hurtful. Despite the pain of ending the relationship, I can't help but feel relieved that I finally took the step to break up with him. After enduring bullying in my past, I don't think I deserve to be treated poorly by someone who's supposed to care about me. For those of you who might be concerned about me, please know that I'm okay. I'm currently at home, and thankfully my mum is here to support and comfort me through this tough time. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for all the support and kind words I've received from this community. I honestly didn't expect such an outpouring of support, and it means the world to me. You all are truly amazing. Edit. I hadn't gotten around to blocking him yet, but he took the initiative and blocked me on all social media platforms. Update to edit. Shortly after blocking me, he must have realized I had blocked his number because he unblocked me and started calling me on Instagram. At that point, I knew I needed to take control of the situation for my own well-being, so I blocked him back. I'm feeling incredibly anxious and overwhelmed right now, but deep down, I believe I've made the right decision by ending things. It's a tough time, but I'm trying to focus on taking care of myself and moving forward. Update 2, 11 days later. I hadn't initially planned on giving an update so soon. I thought I'd wait until I was feeling a bit better before checking in, but I've received so many kind and encouraging messages from all of you that I felt compelled to share a quick update. I hope this update reaches everyone who has been following my story and offering support. Your continued comments and messages have been incredibly uplifting during this difficult time. I can't express enough how much it means to me. Thank you all so much for your kindness and support. A few days ago, I received a call from an unfamiliar number, and to my surprise, it was my ex calling from his friend's phone. The moment I realized it was him, I was hit with a wave of panic and anxiety, which escalated into a full-blown panic attack. Despite my initial reaction, he convinced me to stay on the call to talk things through. Part of me wishes I hadn't stayed on the call, but at the same time, I'm somewhat glad I did. Talking to him again reaffirmed my decision to break up with him. It reminded me of why I made that tough choice in the first place and reinforced my belief that it was the right decision for me. The The conversation with him was a real emotional roller coaster from start to finish. He began by apologizing and insisting that he would do anything to make things right. Despite his pleas, I stood firm and told him I wasn't interested in getting back together. When he asked why, I didn't hold back. I told him he had betrayed my trust and reminded him of all the times he had displayed questionable behavior throughout our relationship. Instead of acknowledging his mistakes, he seemed more focused on justifying his actions. When I brought up the possibility of him cheating on me with my bully, he became defensive and denied any wrongdoing. He claimed they were just hanging out as friends, but he intentionally hid me from the story because he knew it would upset me. I pointed out that his explanation didn't really add up, and it made me question whether he might have cheated with other girls as well. In a defensive tone, he retorted, "Well, you could have cheated on me too, how would I know?" I found this response puzzling, especially since I mostly communicated with him and had been committed to our relationship. It felt like he was deflecting and avoiding taking responsibility for his actions. Then he suggested that we should both forgive each other because, according to him, I've also hurt him in some way. I was genuinely surprised by this comment. It felt like he was trying to shift the blame and avoid taking responsibility for his own actions. To make matters even more bewildering, he then had the audacity to tell me, "I'm going to give you one last chance to fix this mistake." I couldn't help but ask, "What mistake are you talking about?" He clarified by saying he meant the mistake of breaking up with him. I couldn't hold back my laughter at that point. My laughter seemed to catch him off guard and may have even angered him because his tone shifted dramatically. He started hurling insults at me, calling me a fucking bitch and questioning if I was some kind of psycho. In that moment, I was honestly taken aback and hurt by his sudden outburst. It was a stark reminder of why I had chosen to end things with him in the first place. Despite the hurtful words, I felt a sense of relief and validation that I had made the right decision to break up with him. After that heated exchange, I felt the need to set some boundaries, so I told him firmly to not call me or even think about visiting me again, or else I'd consider getting a restraining order. I admit I might have been exaggerating a bit for effect. His response to that was, "Yeah, you really are a psycho." Then, out of the blue, he dropped a bombshell, telling me that he had slept with someone else after our breakup. I couldn't help but wonder why he felt the need to share that information with me. When I asked him, all he said was, "Just thought you should know." He then had the audacity to ask if I had done anything similar since our breakup. I replied with a firm, "Obviously not," even though it hurt to think about how quickly he had moved on. I was tempted to tell him how much his words were hurting me, but I knew that would only give him more power over my emotions, so I chose not to. Honestly, I don't even know if he was telling the truth about sleeping with someone else. But if he wasn't lying, it just reinforces my suspicions that he might have been unfaithful during our relationship as well. It's a painful thought, but it also solidifies my decision to end things and move on. Anyway, I reached a point where I just couldn't engage with him anymore, so I told him he could do whatever he wants because I genuinely didn't care anymore. His response was, "Oh, I get it now. You broke up with me because you're not in love with me anymore, but you're blaming it all on me. Wow." At that moment, I was too exhausted to keep justifying my feelings and my decision to him. So I simply told him he could believe whatever he wanted to believe. Looking back, I do feel a twinge of regret for not standing my ground more firmly, but at the time, I just needed to disengage from the conversation. His parting words before ending the call were, "Fuck off," and then he hung up. After that, I decided to take control of the situation and blocked his number. It felt like the right thing to do to protect my own peace of mind and well-being. Honestly, that conversation really took a toll on me and left me feeling emotionally drained. It's been hard to shake off the weight of everything that was said. On a brighter note, I have a therapist consultation scheduled for this coming Thursday, which I'm hopeful will help me navigate through these emotions and heal. I apologize if this update turned out to be longer than expected. I did my best to condense everything while still sharing the important details. I can't thank you all enough for your ongoing support and kind words. Knowing that I have this community behind me gives me strength and courage to face these challenges.